Okay, admit it. We've all been addicted to Amazon during this entire pandemic. And Amazon's profits went up 84% last year, and CEO Jeff Bezos' personal wealth rose by about $70 billion off our obsessive purchasing. Bezos is so rich that as of last year, he makes more money per second than the typical U.S. worker makes in an entire week. Bezos has made it a point to be publicly philanthropic, with Amazon donating $10 million to organizations including the NAACP and the National Urban League in the wake of Black Lives Matter protests over George Floyd last summer. But when it comes to the conditions of his own workers, many of them black, Bezos hasn't been so charitable. Amazon has a history of being anti-union, and that behavior hasn't changed in the most recent efforts by its workers to unionize. Today was the last day of voting to unionize for nearly 6,000 workers at an Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama. If successful, it would be the first union at any Amazon facility, and it could spark a labor movement across the country, particularly across the South. The Alabama workers are fighting for the right to collectively bargain over working conditions, including safety standards, training, breaks, pay, and benefits. Amazon has pointed out that the company offers a $15 an hour starting wage, benefits, and a clean working environment for its employees. The National Labor Relations Board will begin tallying up the vote tomorrow, but it could take a few days to get the final results. And I'm joined now by Bishop William Barber, co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign. He's called this fight to unionize our Selma. And Jennifer Bates, a pro-union worker at Amazon's Bessemer warehouse, who testified in front of the U.S. Senate Budget Committee on the working conditions at Amazon earlier this month. And I want to start with you, Jennifer, because there have been a lot of competing claims. There was this claim that paying workers $15 an hour doesn't make you a progressive workplace, said Mark Pocan of Wisconsin, saying your union bust and make workers urinate in water bottles. That was what he said. Amazon responded and said, you don't believe that peeing in bottles thing is true. If it was true, no one would work for us. But there is reporting at The Intercept and Vice News that it is true. So I just want you to clear that up. Are workers being forced to pee in bottles rather than take bathroom breaks at Amazon?
I haven't heard that at the Amazon that I'm working at. Haven't seen it either. So if it's happening, I'm not sure.
OK. And what are the conditions then? So that's one thing. What are the conditions that in your mind make it that you would want to have a union rather than work as you are now?
Well, most of some of the issues are we have safety issues, longer hours of work and less breaks that we have, no communication or support from leadership.
And then let me actually bring Bishop Barber into this, because you have called this our Selma. And I know that there is obviously a connection, because Dr. King was fighting to unionize sanitation workers, at the time that he died. But why do you think it's so important? I mean, Amazon does pay $15 an hour minimum wage.
Well, it's our economic Selma. And actually, before 68 and 65, at the end of the Selma to Montgomery March, Dr. King connected the union fight and the fight for voting rights. He actually said the battle to suppress the vote and the battle to suppress labor rights has been a tactic used by Southern whites aristocracy to hold on to their money. Listen, the Retail Workers Union has shown that while Amazon claims 15 at that plant is great, there are warehouses near there that make 18 and 21 starting, $18, 21 hours. You have the Amazon took the people's $2 hour hazard pay, while Jeff Bezos made $180+ billion. The workers have no contracts. They are at-will workers, can be fired for any cause. Over 20,000 Amazon employees contracted COVID. Yes, they gave $10 million of chump change to certain groups and civil rights organizations, and claiming that he supports Black lives. Well, what about the 5,500 Black lives in that plant? What about the white lives, the brown lives, the Asian lives in that plant who have no contract, who had their $2 hazard pay taken, who are not making what their counterparts are making right near them? You know, he's been very good at camouflaging the real battle here. And we know in the South, the battle for voting rights and the battle for union rights is the same fight. Because what it does, Joy, it brings together the coalition that the aristocracy and the ruling class has always feared. Black people, white people, brown people, Asian and Native, poor and low wealth workers. And when that coalition is organized in the South and votes together, it fundamentally changes. We saw it in 2008 in North Carolina with Obama. We saw it in 2020 in Georgia. And that's one of the fears about all of this spreading across the South and the country. And that's why, in many ways, Bessemer is our economic, I call them the Bessemer 6000, is our economic Selma, because here we are again in Alabama. Here we are right down the road from Birmingham that Dr. King fought in 65. And here we have all kinds of tactics. To tell you one other tactic, Joy, they're using. They bring in people to teach about the union, and they teach the wrong information. And when the workers question that, the workers have to come before the class and have their pictures taken as a form of intimidation. So there's a lot of wrong going on here.
Very quickly, Jennifer, what would it change in your working life to have a union there? In your mind, what do you think would change if this was a unionized workplace?
To unionize the Amazon in Bessemer, Alabama would actually, for what it would mean to me and a lot of my coworkers is that we'll have job security and that we'll have a seat at the table to speak to Amazon about the working conditions. We'll be able to speak about some of the things that they need to take care of to allow us to work comfortably even with human resources. We're not able to talk with them or they ignore us. So it actually will give us a seat at the table to sit down and force Amazon to talk with us about the safety issues that we continue to speak to them about, or just firing the young people without giving them information on the things that they should or should not be doing in the facility. Right. We have people being rolled out in wheelchairs, heart attack. It's a lot that's going on in there that the people on the outside don't understand.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.